yuck.
Hello.
You didn't get it?
I kind of did. I just can't do it good.
Oh, I can't do it. Yuck. It's funny when that's like the way that it's
I can't.
spelt for, reading the word hayuk as a laugh.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So if you couldn't tell, this is a goofy podcast.
It's goofy, and so are we.
And we're talking about the Goofy movie.
A goofy movie.
A Goofy movie. So
yeah.
sorry. I used the wrong article.
Yes.
Which is a and the.
So, anyways, we're slowly filling Jake in on some of my favorite cartoons, pretty much. So recently we watched a Goofy movie, which I thought we had seen together before, but I guess not.
And I had never seen.
I can't believe you haven't.
There is a lot that I have not seen.
I know. So yeah, we're slowly getting there.
We grew up with like a limited VCR collection of movies, no cable. It was like, go outside and play, you
We did
miscreants.
that too.
I know, I just mean we didn't have options. Like,
okay,
there was like one game console with the same like 3 games. My parents didn't invest in a lot of that stuff for us, and they just told us to go outside instead, which honestly, now I think in the moment I didn't like, 'cause I'm like, oh man, I want to know all these things that everyone's talking about and what are these things that people reference, but I don't know. I feel a lot better about it now that I've grown up.
Totally.
Because my instincts are to like go out in the bush and light off fireworks, not watch a movie.
Okay. Still like movies.
Growing up in the country in the States.
So what did you think about it though?
It was good. I like the story.
You like the story?
Mm-hmm.
What else can you say about it?
What else can I say about it?
And from your perspective.
Yeah. I think it did a good job of capturing. Actually, maybe this is the first question. When did that come out? Do you remember? Or like about
I think
what
in
year?
The 90s.
Okay.
But I don't know exactly when.
Yeah, that's good. Because I feel like it did a good job capturing what it felt like being a kid in the 90s. At least at an emotional level. Maybe I didn't have the same circumstances, but like just the reactions to the world, reactions to school, the idols that you have, the interaction between boys and girls. And like I feel like it really did a good job capturing what all of that growing up felt like through the 90s.
Yeah.
And that's what I really enjoyed about it. And I think what made me connect with it and say, oh, awesome. Like I felt that way, or I had similar experiences to, was it Max, right?
Yeah.
Is that it? Yeah. Similar experiences, at least at an emotional level as Max. And yeah. So that was really awesome.
Nice.
And then, so I guess throughout the movie, I think at the beginning I had one question and it made me think, oh, I'm just going to keep a notepad close by and write down questions that come up as we're watching the movie. And then I'm going to ask you those questions here on the podcast.
Okay.
Because I think that's fun. And you haven't seen these questions, or maybe you've seen a few over my shoulder, but we didn't talk about them. I didn't tell you what I'm writing. And I'm just excited to hear some of your answers here.
All right, hit me.
Should we dive in? Okay, the first one's pretty generic and topical, though. This is the question that started it. What kind of animals are they? Goofy and
dogs.
Dogs. Okay.
Yeah, I know. It's really funny. I wonder even how they came up with that. But I guess Mickey's a mouse, and the core of the Disney characters are Mickey, Goofy, Donald, Minnie.
Mm-hmm.
So you have the mice, Mickey and Minnie, the ducks, Donald and Daisy, and then you have, Goofy's unfortunately a loner. He doesn't have a wife, but he has a son. We don't know what happened to Mrs. Goof. I'm sure there's some sort of like theory out there.
They didn't make a movie explaining that?
No, it's not. There's never, not that I know of or remember. No, but there used to be a TV show on the Disney Channel called The Goof Troop, and it was about Goofy and Max and like just some other characters. Pete, Pete and PJ. They
No.
came in with the big RV.
Oh.
At the bowling alley, with the bowling alley on the top of it in the movie. A Goofy
Oh,
movie.
yeah.
But they're dogs.
Okay. Man, how progressive. Single dad.
It's nice that they threw that in there, hey?
Yeah, but I'm not going to lie. These are the answers we need right now, Disney. What happened to Mrs. Goof?
Oh, maybe she abandoned Max and, Goofy had to... Well, it's often... There's a lot of single dads in Disney movies. The Little Mermaid.
True.
King Triton's just him.
But he's the king of the sea.
Yeah.
He can have anyone he wants. He's the Genghis Khan of the uncontinented.
Well, probably that's why all of his daughters are different.
See?
7 C's, 7 wives.
7 cocks.
Okay, whoa. Anyways, that's that tangent on its own.
Yeah. No, it's funny sometimes
so
revisiting 90s stuff and seeing, I guess, how there actually is so much diversity of representation across a lot of things that maybe just flew under the radar. They weren't as big and flashy and known, but
like
I think so many of the
else?
stories that we're craving are actually out there.
Like what else?
Oh, good question.
Right?
Man, you're hitting me off the top.
I know, because this is what they're doing with the live actions now is, they're trying to be more inclusive.
Mm-hmm.
And I get that in a way.
Sure. I don't know either. It's just a theory I'm throwing out there.
Okay.
I don't know. I feel like it's there. But okay, my second question came up when Max got in trouble and he was called to the principal's office.
Yes.
And my question to you is, were you ever called to the principal's office?
I remember I definitely have a few times. The one that I don't remember about the one in high school. I don't know if I went to the principal's office because I had skipped or if it was just Mrs. Middleton taking me to that one room where all the kids go when they get in trouble for skipping or being caught smoking. But so I don't know about that one. But one I remember in elementary school having to go to the principal's office because I was like fighting with another kid, not physically fighting.
Just like throwing words.
Yeah, about families.
Yeah.
That
reminds me of it in elementary school. When I was at the end of elementary school, I think in grade 5 when we were in Virginia, the Yo Mama jokes were the most popular thing.
That's funny.
And yeah, they were hilarious. What was my favorite one? My favorite Yo Mama joke, this little tangent. It's definitely your mama's so stupid, she stole a free cookie.
So you had to go to the principal's office for getting in trouble for that?
No, I didn't get in trouble for that. That was just something we were doing as kids. Yeah, because we would have like a little huddle circle and like everyone would just start slanging Yo Mama jokes. And
that's so funny.
Yeah, it would go on for like all recess.
But did you ever have to go to the principal's office for anything?
Oh God, yeah. I remember well, I think the one I got in trouble, man, I don't know what the worst one is when I was younger. The one I remember the most is from high school when I got in trouble because I went on our high school's Wikipedia page and I started changing the names of all the administrators to rappers.
What? How could you do that?
It was public to edit at that time.
Oh,
like
that's
anyone
so funny.
could just change a Wikipedia page. Like, yeah, I don't know. The world was, or the internet was a whole different place.
That is really.
But I remember
funny.
I was getting in trouble, and it was weird too because they started threatening me with I had changed one of the like vice principals or something. I just randomly had chose the rapper Eazy-E, and then they were trying to be like, "Do you know what that means to call a woman easy?" you know, and I was like, oh my God, get out. Like, have you no
don't
culture?
even
Like,
know anything.
that's
How will
not,
you ask me what those names are?
I'm like, do you know that these are all rappers? Do you notice the trend going on here? And I felt really like someone was just looking for a reason to get me in deeper trouble than I was really in.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, that's just the dumbest stretch I've ever heard in my life. Like, come on.
Yeah.
I'm 15 or something like that. You know, like, get out of here. The principal was like Eminem, you know? I'm like, what do you think is going on here?
They're dumb.
Yeah, it was just, the dumbest thing. Jokes on them, though, because then I became class president and I got to hang out with the vice principal all the time.
Was
She's
she
a different
easy?
vice principal. Different vice principal. No, she was awesome.
Just kidding.
Mrs. Iwasaki. Shout out to Mrs. Iwasaki if she ever listens to this. I loved her. She was such a great mentor and teacher and just like a great person who would tolerate the shit of teenagers, but also kind of kept you in line a little.
Yeah.
But she never like threw the book at you and was like, you know, you're calling someone easy, we're calling the police, and you know, like, fuck, stupid. Anyhows, next tangent. So, right, because the one girl is throwing the party there.
Yes.
And everyone's going to watch the live stream concert.
Stacy's party.
She
invited the entire school.
Did Stacy's mom have it going on?
Maybe.
Lack of moms in this movie.
That's true.
Anyhows, my other question though was, you don't have to name names here, but who was like the popular girl or guy in your school who like threw all the parties that everyone would want to go to?
Well, I'll tell you that I like, if I was ever at a party, I snuck there, and it was rare because, you know, wasn't supposed to be doing anything. So I didn't hang out with the popular people. So I'm sure there were lots of people that did that I just have no idea about. But one person that I know, because near the end of high school, when I started to, you know, not ditch, but like be places I wasn't supposed to be.
At times you weren't supposed to be.
Yeah. And I'll just say his name. His name's Mike, and we were friends for a long time here. After high school and stuff, we moved down to Vancouver at the same time. And anyways, they have some money, and they have a pretty big house with a hot tub and a pool. And so I remember Mike just like puking over the railing once. People just, those are some, I got mono after one of those. And let's leave it at that.
The great memories of high school parties.
And Mom's going to be like, that's how you got mono.
Yeah.
That's funny.
This is the joys of getting older. You can finally tell all these secrets to your parents and laugh about it.
Yeah, but it's funny. It's funny, not funny, because at some point, I think it was around, maybe she did it for everybody, but my mom made us write down all of our friends' names and their house phone numbers. Mm-hmm. And of course, like in the morning, the phone's ringing. Guess who's on the phone? My mom. Yeah. She found me. Fuck. That was embarrassing.
Oh my God. I had a similar thing. So in my class, it was a high school friend, Taylor. His house was like the party house. And my parents kind of knew this. And one night I had told my parents I was going to some other friend's house who, like, I had never gone to that person's house. Yeah. But he was part of the group that was always over at Taylor's. And so we go out. They're like, okay, have fun at, your friend's house. And then, of course, we're up drinking and smoking weed and, doing all the things that we shouldn't be doing. And I wake up in the morning because my phone is going off next to my head and I've got like this raging hangover, and it's my dad calling. So I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, answer. Yeah, hi. He's like, oh, hey, like, what are you doing? Are you over at so-and-so's? Yeah. We're like just getting up. And he's like, oh, okay. Well, like, come outside. I'm like, what? He's like, I know you're at Taylor's. Come outside. And I will like walk out. He's in Taylor's driveway. And he's like, get home now, you know?
Oh
I
my
was like,
gosh.
oh, fuck.
That's funny.
Yeah, so he was like, I don't need phone numbers. I know where these people are. I'm like, fuck, right. When you have a dad who's worked in Army intelligence,
Oh my
there's
gosh.
just
That's funny.
you can't really pull the wool over him too quick.
Right.
But I did appreciate he wasn't too mad about what I was doing. He was just like, I'm mad that you lied. Like,
Why did you lie?
Because I thought they would say no. Because I had been going to
Oh.
Taylor's a lot, and I thought they would like kind of catch on, and they'd be like, no, you've been like over there a lot.
Gotcha.
And we kind of know what's going on. Like, we kind of never really talked about it, but everyone kind of knew. But that was, just funny. So I got more in trouble for lying. I guess that's the moral of the story.
Nice.
Don't lie about it. Just be like, hey, I'm going out to break rules. See you later.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know. Maybe it'll work. Oh, right. Because, okay. So Max's friend, I can't remember the character's name, but it was voiced by Pauly Shore. So this is a little bit of another side tangent from Goofy movie particularly, but what's your favorite Pauly Shore movie?
Oh, I wish I knew the names because he was in so many great movies in the 90s.
What was the one? Biodome is the one we watched that I really love.
Yeah, that one.
Hilarious.
That's up there. I don't even know what what the names are of the movies, but I remember one. I remember just loving him so much in everything he did, especially back then. And there was this one where he I can barely remember, but he oh fuck, do you have your phone down here?
Yeah.
He goes to a farm and he's seducing the farmer's daughter. Yeah, I don't remember all the names because it's been a long time. But those were just good movies, you know. Oh, I think he was in Encino Man.
Yep. That's the first one that pops up here on his IMDb.
That one's good.
I'll let you take a little browse through.
Yeah, so Encino Man, Brendan Fraser.
Oh.
Have you ever seen that one? He comes out, he's like a caveman in ice.
No, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, they're digging a hole for a pool or something like that. And who else is in there?
Brendan Fraser plays a caveman, or Pauly Shore plays the caveman?
Brendan Fraser does.
Hilarious.
Anyways, they find this guy in a block of ice and they thaw him and he goes to high school and stuff. It's pretty funny. Biodome. Son-in-Law.
That's the one you were talking about with the farm.
I'll just read what this is. It says, that's a bit long. Anyways, this is a good one. He goes to the country.
Mm-hmm.
But he's this rocker looking guy.
And then he's trying to hook up with the farmer's daughter.
Yeah, which is actually, that's his friend that he goes back there with, I guess. I don't know. It's been too long. I haven't seen it in a really long time. What else? I think those are probably the big three that I can remember from back then. He's done a lot more, but I think as he gets older, the less I've watched or really liked.
Well, he's got a new film out that we had watched a preview for that was not a great preview.
What is it?
It didn't really explain the movie. It was
new?
Yeah. It was in the last couple of years, and he plays it's like a tenant in a basement suite in some fancy house, and then some new people buy the house. But I remember just the trailer was the lady goes out to get in her vehicle, and she's driving up, and she opens the gate, and he's just laying in the driveway, passed out, and some lady's walking her dog. The dog goes to sniff him, and she pulls him away, all repulsed, and
I guess something.
And then the lady in the car is all disappointed, oh my god, really, and embarrassed. So that's what I mean. It didn't tell us anything.
But anyways,
he doesn't even wake up.
Yeah, his name is Bobby in a Goofy movie, and he builds a tower of cheese.
Oh, right. Yeah, he has this great quote. He loves the cans of cheese.
Yeah, the spray can of cheese.
I love when characters have little ticks like that. So they're there's a little thing about the character. This is my jam. I love spray cans of cheese. And you're it's not explained. It's just part of that person. And they just let it go, and it becomes a little joke that pops up here and there. It's my favorite thing about characters in movies.
guard this with your life, dude. I don't know. I wish I could. Anyways, yeah, I always love the way that he talks. I just think it's funny. You know? Cheddar! Oh, Cheddar was it? Oh, I love Cheeseless.
He's like, everyone needs a friend like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're like just a hype man who's just stoked about things.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. That's what I love. 90s movies did a good job of having a good hype man. Like, it's kind of this unexplained, unintelligent character.
Yeah.
Who just has like a love.
Too.
Yeah.
Ow. Yeah.
But it's always just this. There were always this character who just loves life and like has a specific love for very specific things, but just also loves life.
Yeah.
And finds comedy and laughter, and levity, and freedom in like every moment.
Yeah.
They're the coolest.
Yeah.
I love
my
that.
Favorite for sure.
I want to be that character in life.
Be it.
Yeah. Okay. So in the movie, there is a super famous musician. What's the name here? Did I write it down here? Yeah, Powerline.
Yeah.
So Powerline, like the crush of all the girls, the heartthrob, also the all the guys want to be him.
Guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Super cool. So my question there is, who was like your musical celebrity crush in high school? Who was like the Powerline for you? Or you can even say middle school if you have to go back a little further.
First of all, I want to say that Powerline, I think, represents like a version of Prince, if that didn't seem very obvious,
yeah.
Or whatever his name turned out to be. Right?
Yeah.
But I grew up with boy bands.
Mm-hmm.
So all the boy bands.
Yeah.
Backstreet Boys.
Okay.
Backstreet Boys probably number one because NSYNC kind of came in a little bit later, and they just make me think of ramen noodles.
It's just because of Justin's hair.
Yes, but that's what I think about when I think about the color orange and ramen noodles. And
I
still
think about
good
the
songs, but
from the cover of their album.
I think, oh yeah, bye 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 bye. Anyways, so Backstreet Boys. Even though Powerline's just one person, there weren't a lot of solo.
Yeah, it was definitely a group act era.
Yeah. Oh, did we find out when that came out?
No, that's okay. I'm going to move past that.
Sure.
Oh, man. Okay, this next one gets a little deep.
Sheesh.
Because, the core conflict, has to deal with Max and Goofy feeling like he needs to reconnect with his son because he's risking losing like the relationship and their closeness.
Well, and also thinking that he's going to get in trouble and end up in the electric chair or jail.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So he's like looking out for his kid.
Teenagers going out and doing their growing up.
Which I also think is just like on a movie and storytelling level, a brilliant metaphor for what it must feel like to be a parent and having a kid going out and like getting in trouble or about to get in trouble or, like.
Well, especially a single parent too, who's, you've been, it's just the two of you has been forever.
Yeah. So you're like, oh no, if I don't, like, he'll get the electric chair. But there's a moment in there where Max really disappoints his father. And
do you know which one moment exactly? Is it from?
I think it's somewhere.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's with the map when he changes the map.
Yes.
And so instead of going to fishing, they go the other way.
Yeah. And so my question here is, oh, sorry.
I think I know what you're going to ask.
Yeah. Well, I'm like, is there a moment that you've ever felt like you most disappointed your parents? And like, how did you handle that, or what did you learn from that?
I have disappointed them a lot growing up. And I'm going to just say one moment that I remember, because it probably wasn't the worst moment, but it is one that I always remember. And anyways, I was 16. I was going for my learners, and my mom noticed that I had a bunch more ear piercings than I had before that she knew about, and got in trouble for that. And that's a pretty mild one. But I had done it myself too, which was also like not happy about. But there were plenty of others, that some that I can't remember, or some that I might just not want to like speak up about.
Yeah.
But I definitely felt like I feel like I disappointed them a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Just going through being a teenager and life sucking really hard at that time.
Yeah. Teenage life is brutal.
Very much so.
Yeah. I think we should all give ourselves a pat on the back real quick for having survived
I'm just so
teenage life.
glad that it's over. Like,
Yeah.
really, really.
Yeah. 100%.
How about you?
Oh God. Yeah. I feel like as a high school teenager, I was a mixture of like great uppity accomplishments and then like grand disappointments.
Can you name like one that's not too bad?
Yeah,
if you want
for
to.
sure. Well, I already talked about the one. I still feel
yes, that's
really
right.
shitty about lying to my parents about where I was going and what I was doing. I'm pretty sure I did some more after that too. Like,
of course.
I don't know if they caught it. I'm just kidding, Mom and Dad. I never lied to you after that. But there was another moment. So we had another friend who, his grandparents ran a corner store, and we were able to get like, well, at least tobacco, sometimes some liquor from there, because like he would work there and just sort of like, hey, give me some cash. You can get whatever you want. So I had been introduced to chewing tobacco at 16 and would often stop by there if he was working and like load up on some chewing tobacco and go home. But this friend also liked to smoke weed. So when we were there and working, and he's like, hey, like I was just going to go outside and smoke some weed. Like, you want to smoke some too? I'm like, yeah, sure. Let's do it. So we go out into the like walk-in cooler in the back.
Oh my God. You were inside too?
Yeah. Well, it's ventilated and everything, right? It's just cold. And so we smoke some weed. I get a little high and we're hanging out for a minute. I'm like, all right, I gotta go. So then I hop in the car and I drive home, and we were also visiting, or we were dog sitting for some people. They had this old basset hound named Slugger. And he was there. And then I was meeting up with my other friend, Mike. He was coming over because we were actually supposed to work on some kind of school project. But I come in like blazed out of my mind, having just driven like halfway across the county, stoned. And
no.
And then there's this big basset hound at the top of the stairs, and I'm like, oh my God, look at this dog. Like, look at these ears. Like freaking out. And and then Mom had made like some kind of bullshit leftover dinner that night. And I'm at the dinner table. I'm like, oh my God, like this food is so good. You know,
just
like,
give yourself away.
Oh my God. Yeah. So then the next day, my dad comes down into my room. I had like, our house was a split level, and I was the only one who had a bedroom on the basement. And he comes in, like shuts the door, and he's very serious, sits down on the bed, looks at me. I'm in my like desk chair, turned around looking at him like he's like, you do any recreational drugs?
Oh my God.
I remember the words so clear. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, he was like, you're raving about leftovers. Like, my dad knows. He smoked weed in high school, and you know, all of this, but he was just like, you drove, you know? And I was like, yeah. And then he was also like, do you have any in the house? Like, 'cause at that time he was still doing his army work, and he had a security clearance. So he was like, if there are drugs on this property, like, you're triple fucked, because like that fucks with my job, you know? I was like, no, like I was good enough to never do that. I never like brought illegal drugs onto the house. The worst I did was like sneak in cigarettes or cans of chew and some underage drinks, but like all legal things, you know?
Yeah.
Nothing that my parents couldn't claim were theirs if someone inquired. But yeah, that was a big one.
Cool.
Yeah.
What's the next
There's
question?
another one that I won't talk about. Just because I don't want the other person to get in trouble.
Oh, it's all good.
Oh, man. This kind of rides onto that, though.
Why so many?
Because that's what was happening in the moment of that
so
movie.
many
This isn't as
now.
bad, though. This one's more
What's
like,
the question?
yeah, it's what does connecting with your parents feel like or look like to you?
Now?
Yeah.
Because it was definitely, it took, why are you asking such questions? Well, it took me a really long time to connect with my parents. Because I fought a lot. And it wasn't really until a few years ago where maybe a little bit. Yeah, a few years, 5 years, maybe. I don't know. I've been slowly connecting with my mom on a more honest level, which includes being honest with her and being honest with myself. And communicating better. Because forever I just felt like I couldn't be honest because I didn't want to disappoint, and I always felt like that. And this is not supposed to dig at anybody or my parents. This is not an episode like that. We're just, talking about our lives.
Yeah. Well, to me, it's
and
about
our perspectives.
You and what it's your side of that. And what does that feel like to actually connect with them? Because I do see the great connection you have now.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. And no, it's awesome because I feel so much better about myself. But I think it's taken me just so long to just be completely honest about things that I have gone through with everybody. And finally I'm at a point where there are like no secrets. So yeah, we have a great relationship, and connecting is, for me, with my mom especially, is just communicating and being able to talk about random stuff or some deep stuff, and allowing space for her to also be honest with me, which has made me feel so much better about things that I wish that we had spoke about so much longer, like back and then. But that's okay because we're in a great place now. And spending time together and trying to go see them as much as possible. And I hate to say this, but it's like, I love my dad to death, but we don't have like the same connection because he's very quiet, and that's where I get a lot of my quiet, reserved side from him. And I don't think that means like he doesn't care about me any less or anything. That's just his way, his I don't know. So that's just how it's been forever.
Yeah.
And so I don't know anything better. I mean, there's some times where I do wish that we could talk about some things, but I understand. But that's also why I have a much stronger connection with my mom, because she's kind of like the in-between, the go-between.
Yeah. She's able to have the conversations and
pass along
and share
the
more of herself too.
Like, or
no, but I mean, that's part of those vulnerable conversations, is always like, if you're going to ask somebody to share something, then you got to be ready to share something also.
Yeah.
And I think that's why so many people are terrified of having some kind of vulnerable conversation, because they're not ready to share something. So they know that, like, oh, it's not fair to ask somebody something so deeply personal, or for them to just sort of unload something and then not be willing or able to share back. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's good. Yeah. I am finally free of all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Cool. The next one. Oh, man.
Okay, what are you doing? Are they all serious now?
No. No. So there's the next one. So there was the big song of the movie.
There
Stand
are two
Out.
big songs, one at the beginning and one at the end.
Okay, I think I'm talking about the one at the end then.
Many
Stand Out.
songs. No, that's the beginning.
I feel like, okay.
Stand
Anyhows,
out.
my question is more like, it's kind of a two-parted one. What do you like about the song Stand Out? And does that song speak to you about your teenage years in any way?
Well, I got to laugh at you because when we first started sharing songs, you used to ask me, like, what does this song mean to me? And sometimes there are just songs I just like the sound of that doesn't really have a meaning. When I think about, okay, with this song, it's got such a great beat, you know, and it's fun the way that he dances on the movie, and it's something that I could sing to too. Like I felt like it was a song that I could sing to, and I always loved that. So nothing too like it deep or anything. It just sounded good. It was hip.
Yeah.
It made me want to dance. It made me want to sing. But if I think about the lyrics and stuff, it's called Stand Out because he wants to be noticed by somebody. And definitely that resonates as a teenager or whatever, because of course I wanted to be noticed by certain people or at all, because I just felt like nothing.
Yeah.
And now as I get older, it's just super nostalgic for me and brings back good memories about just really enjoying that movie.
Yeah.
Makes me want to dance.
That's great.
Yeah.
And I should say, like, I don't think the answer to why you like something always has to be deep. Like, I feel like I get that from people a lot when I ask them about why they like a song or a movie or a piece of art or something. Like, I like it because of this thing, and that's it, as if they think it should be more. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. Like, I'm just asking.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, your answer is always valid. It's what you like. And
yeah.
No one else is in the right to tell you you're right or wrong about what you like.
I think it's just because I wasn't used to anybody asking me stuff like that. I mean, one time when I was seeing this one guy way back when, we watched Children of Men.
Yeah. I love that movie.
It's a great movie.
I just want to go on the record.
But it was funny because he was like 4 or 5 years older than me too. And I was 18 or something. And he was so fucking smart and stuff. And it made me feel so stupid. But at the end of that movie, he turns around and he's like, so what did you think about it? And like in a very serious, like, let's dive deep into this.
Scholarly voice.
Oh yeah. And I feel stupid because now I feel like I could talk all about it.
Mm-hmm.
But then I was just like, yeah, I really liked it. Like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I still got a kiss that night. So
there you go. Win.
Yeah.
It was the right answer.
Yeah. So just being asked questions like that, because for a really long time, like all that deep stuff, questions happen just within me, rather than having people ask me anything, because I've just always been introverted and didn't really tell people how I felt about anything a whole lot for a long time.
Yeah.
So sometimes when you do ask, I'm like, dirt.
Yeah, for sure. It can take a hot minute to like, because it is different when you have something in your head and then you're trying to get it out, because there's that delay.
Not really good.
Well, there's always that delay. Like, I experience this a lot where I feel like I can think things and have this clear idea in my head, and then I go to speak about it and I'm like, wait, what? Like, the words are gone.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how to put this in the way that I hear it in my head.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of why I like writing, because it allows me to practice doing that. Sorry, that's a little insert tangent, but but I think too, conversely, there have been so many times when I've heard people, wax and wane in all these academically poetic, beautiful, long sentences about what they think of something, and I'm like, that's horse shit. Like,
yeah.
It doesn't matter how much you put it. Like,
Yeah.
whatever. We all just have our different reactions. And sometimes it can be as simple as like, I love it. You know, like it's the same reason, like, why do I like going on roller coasters? It's fucking fun. Like nothing else to it.
Yeah.
What am I going to tell you? Like it doesn't, there's nothing deeper than that. I'm like, it's fun.
I want to say one more thing about that song too.
Mm-hmm.
Putting it with the movie and what he did, because he was like a kind of a loser, outsider type of person, and I really love the bravery and like the courage to get up and do what he did in front of a whole crowd, especially when you're a teenager and feeling like you're unseen, and
it's terrifying.
Yeah, so I loved that sort of confidence that he could just make by acting like a character.
Yeah.
And then everybody loving him for that after. And I think that helped me too when I really wanted to do stuff like theater and in school, but being extremely afraid because I've always cared about what people thought of me, or I used to.
Mm-hmm.
And just taking strength from that.
Yeah. Reminds me of so in high school, I was in a band with a couple friends of mine. And the first year that we played the talent show, like I was so fucking nervous, especially because I was defaulted into being like the front man. So I was playing guitar and singing the songs because no one else was able to.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I don't know, for some reason we didn't think we could like find a singer. But well, also I don't know, there weren't a lot of male singers in our high school. Like it was a small high school too, so there weren't a lot of male singers in our high school who like were into the pop punk stuff that we were into playing. And but I remember before the first talent show that we did, we're all backstage and we're loading in, and like one of the upperclassmen had somehow like had a bottle of vodka and it was like being passed around in the back, and I was like, holy fuck, give me like a ton of this. Because it was the only way. I was like, I'm gonna go out there and not throw up in front of everybody. And that feels like something I should have gone to the principal's office for, but
he didn't get caught.
Never went there.
Didn't get caught.
Yep.
Never happened.
But also, yeah, because like I think the people were cool then. They got it. They were like, yeah, you're doing something terrifying that most people just will not even ever attempt. So
that's nice.
Go do it.
People understood that. Not how it happened. Worked in my school.
Yeah, maybe I was reading into that, but just people were happy to kind of like turn a little bit of a blind eye if you weren't like causing trouble and doing things too stupid. You know, I was like, thankfully, most of us never really did anything like really out there or treacherous. We were just like, you know, hanging out at a friend's house and having drinks and like maybe some mushrooms.
No, I was just saying like how getting up on stage and being judged. Yeah, I'm not talking about alcohol anymore. We already passed that. Move on. Yeah,
gotcha. I don't know if I have. I think my final question is like, what makes you love this movie so much?
There's that question again. First of all, it's a cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
I love animated, the 2Ds the most. Because everything's like Pixar and computer animated now, which is not bad, but
this one's really well animated though.
Yeah. I love the color. I love the story. I love the music. I think it's fucking hilarious at the same time. Like it's really funny. And this is goofy. I'm just thinking about when they're on the road and they're about to start their song, the open road song, and there's just so many great scenes. But Max is all fuck. I want to now. Every time I'm about to say something else pops into my head, and I'm like, well, I think that people just need to go watch it to see. But I'll just explain this one part. But so they wrecked the tape in the cassette in the car, and so they couldn't listen to music, and they were both silent for a little bit, and then as musicals do in a musical fashion, Goofy makes up a song by listening to things like the exhaust pipe making a puttery sound or the keys jingling, and then he starts to whistle, and then they break out in song, and it's this whole thing with everybody on the road. And can you stop that cat, please? And now like it's just really nostalgic, and I've seen it so many times, and it's actually been on in the background for a lot of moments in my life. And it's super cute. I also love the voice of Max, the guy that played the voice of Max. I always thought that was like a hot sounding voice.
Classic.
Sorry, I'm just like thinking of the movie as I'm trying to talk. I do think it's cool going from them creating a bond when when there is a bubble of trust that they think is happening that actually gets broken later, but then they come back together in a time of danger and whatnot. Also, Bigfoot, the way that they portray Bigfoot in the movie is fucking hilarious.
Yep.
And just so funny. It's really funny. It's just a great movie. And I think there's just, all those things. And yeah.
Awesome.
They did make a second one. It's called an extremely Goofy movie, and it wasn't as good. Like Max goes off to college, and the Goofy ends up going to the same college.
Mildly hilarious.
Yeah, it's not bad, but it's just not even close to what the first one is.
Makes me think of my great grandpa.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when he was in his 70s or something, he didn't really, or he was looking for something to do, and he wanted to learn more about stuff that's going on in the world and all the new changes. And he had this thought, wait, I pay taxes. I support the school here. Why don't I just go enroll in high school?
What?
He did.
You can?
I don't know. They let him.
What?
This is what, I don't know. Parksville, BC was like,
that's so
okay.
funny.
And like, because he wanted to go take computer classes, and he would go like rock climb in the PE and like,
that's so funny.
Whatever else.
Good
and
for him. That's wicked.
Yeah, but he just went down there. He's like, hey, like I pay my taxes and like support this school and stuff. Like, can I enroll and learn some shit? And they were like, yeah, sure, I guess. Again, this is like the 90s.
On the island?
Yeah, in Parksville.
Wow.
So he did. And the
him.
hilarious thing was he was part of why I love my great grandparents. He was such a thrifter, even though they had so much money, like thrift. He would just thrift everything, buy everything used, haggle, wheel and deal.
That's great.
He would always go down to the old the SOS thrift shop down there. I can't remember what that stands for, but that's just what it's called. And he would buy all these horrendous plaids and mix and match them, like in the same outfit. So like
that's adorable.
Red shirt, like red plaid shirt.
Actually, I think
green red pants, blue and yellow plaid hat. Like
that's fucking awesome.
Yeah. He had like I will say he had like no fashion sense. But that's what made it his own fashion sense, because he just like threw it all together. But either way, the point is all the high school kids thought like his pants and shirts were awesome, and they were always trying to like buy his thrifted
is
wardrobe
that your
off him.
grandma's count?
Yeah. This is decades before Macklemore. So great grandpa out there. But it just it makes me think of that when I hear that Goofy going to the same college as his kid.
Yeah.
But also just an inspiration.
If
you don't know what to do, go just enroll in high school again. Why
God,
not?
no. Hell fucking no. Ever will I ever.
But when you're old, like it doesn't matter.
I'd rather die.
I don't know. I feel like it's something I might try when I'm like 90.
Great. Go
80,
for it.
70. I don't know. However old I get.
I just wanted to say one more thing about this movie. So this is like one of the movies that we never owned on VHS. And I don't know why. I don't know if it was just hard to find for some reason. Because, there's some movies that aren't as, oh my gosh, that's adorable. Honey is just so cute. Anyways, some back then it was like sometimes hard to find certain Disney movies. So we never had it on VHS. And then when I was that party friend, Mike, I dated him for a little bit in high school. Guess what? He had it on VHS. Guess where it ended up?
In your collection?
In my collection. I stole it. I didn't tell him till obviously he didn't care. Nobody noticed.
Yeah.
I did eventually tell him in our 20s. Like later on when we were in Vancouver and besties and all that stuff.
Yeah. You're like, hey, by the way.
He didn't really care. I still had it then too, because I still had my Disney collection at the time.
That's hysterical.
Now it's at Joseph and Kalina's with all the other Disney stuff I sent up there.
Yeah. Oh, that's too funny.
Yeah, I think that was hilarious.
Well, anyhow, yeah, that's the end of my questions.
Yeah.
And I think that was an awesome
I'm glad you liked it.
Revelatory chat.
I think for the most part,
it's a great movie.
A lot of the movies that we do watch, it's the old cartoons that are just the best. When Jim Bluth, I think his name was Jim Bluth. Bluth, something like that.
Yeah.
Am I saying the right name? Jim Bluth. Anyways, he used to work for Disney, and then he went off and did his own stuff. So but those are some really great movies, like The Secret of Nim, or I don't think.
What's the one with the penguins that we watched?
Oh, Pebble and the Penguin.
Yeah, I love that one.
It's so good, isn't it? Pebble
it's so
and the Penguin.
Good. I don't think I was. Did he also do Land Before Time?
That's what I was trying to figure out. The
style seems very similar.
He did a lot of those. It was like Disney and then him.
Yeah.
Troll in Central Park. Oh God, I don't even know. So many.
Yeah, but I really love that Penguin and the Pebble.
We should watch it again. We watched it a long time ago, didn't we?
I would rewatch that. I loved it so much, especially Rocco.
Oh, of course. Because that's what's his name?
Danny DeVito?
No. He is Philatides in Hercules. Did we watch Hercules yet?
I don't know, but I've seen Hercules, and I loved Hercules because we also had a cat named Hercules.
No, Rocco is. He's got a voice that everybody knows. I just can't remember his name. I don't even think he's alive anymore, though.
The Penguin and the Pebble.
Pebble and the Penguin.
Jim Belushi.
Yes, Jim Belushi.
Is he still alive? That's a good question. I think so.
Huh. Can I see this for a sec?
Oh yeah, sorry. It's on Jim Belushi's page. But anyhow,
Jim Belushi.
Yeah, is there something else from there to add to the episode, or should we wrap this up?
It's not Jeff. I want to know the name.
Oh, I see what you mean. Well, if you just push the back a couple of times on there.
Sorry, I just really want to give you guys the right name for. Oh yeah, Martin Short played Hubie's voice, and I totally. Don Bluth. Don Bluth. Don. Yeah, so he did Thumbelina, A Troll in Central Park. Rock-a-Doodle. We watched Rock-a-Doodle, right?
No, we didn't watch Rock-a-Doodle.
Get the fuck out of here. That used to be one of my absolute favorites. You gotta be kidding me. We have not watched this yet. I swear to God. I swear we have. You know, yes, because the kid is on his farm and it's live action. He turns into a little kitty and they're like...
We didn't watch this.
Okay, we gotta go. We gotta go watch okay. Rock-a-Doodle.
We gotta go watch Rock-a-Doodle.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, like, if you haven't seen Rock-a-Doodle, you're just probably too young. So go find it, fucking watch it.
All right, thanks for listening, everybody.
Peace.
You can support the podcast on our Patreon or send us a note at pairofdinks@gmail.com. It's pretty lonely over there.
And don't tell everybody that. Just say we are getting overflowed. We'll try to respond as soon as possible.
Yeah, but we're getting overflowed with like spam messages and sponsorship requests that we don't really want to take. So
but if we
want some genuine connections.
If there's a cartoon movie out there that's nostalgic for you that you want to like talk about or something, give us a shout. We love that stuff. And Jake might not know, but I know a lot.
Yeah. Or tag us
useless.
at Pair of Dinks on the Instagram. All right. Thanks everyone for listening. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.